Hello everyone, my mic was not selected properly for some reason and now the game is gonna crash. Cause yeah, it likes to do that. I don't know why, but Thief 2, if you minimize it and then relaunch it, then it crashes. So apologies for that. I really should make it a habit to test my microphone every time. I think it was because I updated OBS, that's probably why. But yeah, let me load back in. So yeah, welcome. It's been a minute, almost a week in fact, but we're finally back. As a refresher, last time, unless of course you're watching these back to back, in which case I guess these intros would be annoying to you, but these are still live streams first and foremost, and Let's Play second. So last time we tried to do a job for Constantine, the fellow who hired us in the previous mission, after we were hired to steal his own sword. Yeah, we tried to get the eye that he wants, which is this sort of like really spooky, weird, sussy, wussy gemstone in the old abandoned quarter of the city, the old quarter I think it's called, quite literally. And we saw it in plain sight, but we couldn't quite get to it, even though the window was big enough for us to you know, crawl through, but whatever. We couldn't quite get it. And it spoke to us in a very evil and sinister voice, telling us how to actually open the cathedral. So TLDR, we basically need to find 4 different talismans in order to open the door, one for each element, basically. Each one was hidden in a different section of the city. We have the Talisman of Fire, which is hidden in the Lost City, which is basically a city underneath the city. That was buried like eons ago. Very cool concept. The Talisman of Earth is held with the Hand Brotherhood, which is a new faction that will get introduced. Of mages, basically, who, much like how the Hammerites, you know, worship the Master Builder, and they are all about like progression and building, and the pagans are all about worshipping the trickster and chaos, destruction, and nature. These guys are not really nature, but they're devout followers of the elements. I don't know what gods, if any, they believe in. That's never really explained. They're not as prominent as the other 2 factions, but there's still like some nice lore building, I guess. They absolutely do not exist in any form and are not mentioned in any way in the original game, just so you know, because the Earth Talisman mission is introduced in Thief Gold. But yeah, then the Water Talisman was hidden by the Keepers in some caverns underneath the city, and the Air Talisman was left with the Hammerites. So we need to get all 4 of these. There's gonna be 1 mission per each, and the first one we're gonna do is the Earth Talisman, meaning we'll get introduced to the Hand Brotherhood. So let's begin.
The Talisman of Earth is guarded by a foreign mages sect known as the Hand Brotherhood. They reside in a compound of huge towers where they practice their arts of earth, air, fire, and water. The talisman is likely kept in the Earth Tower, but there's little chance it'll be that simple. No doubt the talisman is heavily guarded and probably protected by magic. But mages love to write everything down. I should stumble on something useful about their precious trinket. I bribed some servants to get me a map of the common grounds, best I could do since only the mages are allowed in the towers. I'll enter the courtyard just outside the central keep entrance. Once inside, I'll need to move quickly to find the talisman. I wouldn't last long in a fight against the mages.
Alright, that is a lot of objectives right off the bat. So, as I mentioned in the past, this is the second out of the 3 missions introduced in Thief Gold, the Gold Edition. And honestly, when I first played this game, this was one of my favorite missions, and definitely my favorite from the Thief Gold missions. But now it's probably my least favorite from the Thief Gold missions. Yes, even less than the Thieves Guild. It's overall a well-designed mission. Like, it's not confusing at all. In fact, it has the exact opposite problem. It's way too linear, and you'll see what I mean once we get into it. But it's not very good when you're replaying the game, because you always go the exact same route every time, and it's really time-consuming and kind of annoying, honestly. But the first time you play it, it's actually really cool. And it has this really unique vibe. Additionally, I've always been a fan and just fascinated with the concept of elements and like balancing the elements, and just the lore behind the Hand Brotherhood mages, the actual like level, the towers, and all that stuff. I was a really big fan of that. But ever since then, I've replayed the game countless times, probably at least a dozen. And yeah, every time this mission just gets worse and worse for me. But it is what it is. So, as you can see, on normal, we only have a small handful of objectives. We need to get 400 loot. Underneath the towers, there is an entrance to the sewers. That is our escape, so we need to escape. Of course, steal the talisman, which is what we came here for. And first find out where it is. And seek the Mage Keep library for clues on the location of the talisman. On hard, we have an additional objective, which is to steal a pair of jeweled reading glasses in the central library. That is our special loot objective, and double the loot goal. And of course, don't kill any servants, but we can still kill the mages themselves and the guards, because they fight back. And on expert, oh, this is a lot. So find where the mages of the Hand Brotherhood have hidden the Earth Talisman, steal it. The central library, we need to get the reading glasses. Regalio, the captain of the house of the guard, has been leading a crusade to retrieve the talismans. One of your contracts says that he's returned with a valuable amulet. Steal the medallion of Saint Burrington from the captain. So we actually have 2, not 1, but 2 special loot items that we need to steal on expert. I think that's a first, actually. I think in every other mission that we've had up until this point, it's only been 1 item. I'm not entirely sure right now. A very hefty loot goal. Like, this loot goal is freaking insane, because on normal it's 400, on hard it's double that, 800, but this is not double of that, it's 1800. And I think overall the map has about 2000 gold, so very demanding. But this is not the reason why I hate the level, just to be clear. A master thief should be proficient enough to avoid murder. Slaughtering guards and mages will soon alert the inner circle to your presence. Be discreet, avoid contact where possible, and don't kill anyone. I really like it when the don't kill anyone objective is written in such a flavorful way. Not every mission does this, of course, but whenever they do, it always sticks out. Underneath the mesh towers, yeah, and of course escape. Alright, and before starting I will also show the map, because this is one of the rare cases where the map is actually quite descriptive. But first let me actually prepare. What am I gonna need even? I'm definitely gonna need moss arrows, you always need moss arrows. Water arrows for sure, but probably not that many. There actually isn't, surprisingly, that many torches that you can take out. I think 20 water arrows ought to do. You don't need fire arrows if you're playing an expert, those are completely pointless. Breath potions are also, I was about to say entirely pointless, but there is one section where you swim, but it's a very small section, so they're almost pointless. You don't really need them. We don't have any rope arrows. Okay, I'm definitely gonna get a few. You do need rope arrows for this mission, so you can actually get soft locked here, which is really funny. You do actually get rope arrows, like if you don't start with any, if you don't buy any at the start, you do get one rope arrow exactly that you need. But I like to be prepared, you know. And I think, yeah, I'll just a few more of those, I guess. So the map is very descriptive, which is a first. Well, not really a first, but it's been a while since we've had a map this descriptive. So this is basically the compound. It's very much symmetrical, which is another reason why I loved this level as a new player. Like in my first, even couple of playthroughs, I really enjoyed playing through this level because it has the exact opposite problem of the Thieves Guild, as I said. Instead of being a confusing mess, it's actually really difficult to get lost here because it's just very well, like, everything is well connected. There's the 4 elemental towers, one in each corner. Of course, you might think, oh, the Earth Talisman should be in the Earth Tower, duh. Well, we'll see. That is not the case. But yeah, we start at the main gate. There is a central tower here, and the main like Mage Keep. The majority of the loot in the mission is actually found here, in the Mage Keep, the central tower, and the library. There is also some loot in the basement as well. There's absolutely no loot in any of the towers. That is actually one of the problems that I have with this level. So they basically feel completely arbitrary. They're not really... Like, they feel pointless, but you do have to visit every single one of them every time, even on normal difficulty. So, yeah, slowly it will be revealed why I dislike this mission. We also have more detailed maps of the actual, like, compound itself. This is the Mage Keep. That's how the lower library is laid out. That's the dungeon. The second floor of the Mage Keep. The third floor is actually where the guards reside for the most part, and the captain, Regalio, his room is actually right down here at the end of the hall, but there's also loot in some of the other rooms as well. This area is also very heavily guarded, so we gotta be careful once we get up there, but yeah, the maps at least are quite useful. That's another thing I really liked about this mission when I first played it. Okay. So, when you begin, you can either go that way or that way. That just leads to the... If we take a look at our map, that just leads to these, like, courtyards directly outside of the towers. But that is a waste of time. What I like to do is I like to just enter the compound literally through the front door. Trust me, you might think that's a terrible idea, judging by what we've learned so far from the game, but no, this place is actually really dark, so it's really difficult for anyone to spot you.
One of them summoned great hurtling balls from the sky, glowing rocks from the moon there was, and they mashed in his poor skull.
Any intruders better hope we get to him first before the hand mages do.
Who's there?
That was a bit of an introduction to the hand mages. They're portrayed as very dangerous, but honestly, as long as you aren't ganged up on several of them at a time, they're basically just like any other enemy. You just whack them a few times with the sword, try to stun lock them, and you can take them down very easily. It's not like they have more health or anything. Their attacks are definitely deadly, because I believe they have the most deadly projectiles, because they literally shoot fire arrows at you. But beyond that, they're really nothing special. Okay, that was kind of risky and dumb on my part. This guy almost got alerted. I should have at least closed the door. So what I like to do in this first floor is there is that storage room where the servant enters. I like to hide all the bodies in there because there are actually a few guards who patrol down here and enter this room. So even if you douse the torches here, which is also a waste of water arrows because you have to douse 2 of them, you're better off just storing all the bodies in this storage room here. That is the safest place. And don't do what I just did and just leave a body at the doorway with the door wide open and it's completely visible, because I got lucky, but you might not get as lucky. Another thing about this mission is that there are a lot of readables. As you might expect, this is a out of nowhere, out of the blue introduction of a completely new faction, so of course we're gonna have a crap ton of readables to get through. Notice to all servants and guards. Herein let it be known that the 4 towers of Mage Keep are sacrosanct and thus off limits to the commons. Only those adept may enter. Guards may enter the tower foyers on business but may not proceed upwards. Ashmesh Ibn al-Harod. I have no idea how to pronounce these, so bear with me. Right, and this is a very interesting note actually. Cellular Abruha. We urgently need the chemicals last requested. 2 days hence we will be sending young Luca to the city. Have one of your helpers accompany him. Also see if you can add 3 goats, a camel and a burek to the animals gathered for the next round of experiments. Adept Haseki Bezar. Alright, so these guys do experiments on animals. I already hate them. Hello, Rai. Welcome back to the stream. Yes, indeed. Dead chat. Not many people are interested in my streams these days because most people subscribe for Minecraft content, and since I don't do Minecraft anymore, I actually even lost like 20 subs recently. But I don't mind. I'm only doing this for fun anyway. Even if I did get paid from YouTube, which I don't, I wouldn't really have cared either way because it's so little money and I have a full-time job now. Hello, Neon Light. Welcome to the stream. Alright, so this right here is actually the library. There are 2 mages that patrol the library and 2 more that patrol the lower library. So what I like to do is I like to wait for them to come down and knock them both out. They're very close. Patience is patience is key basically in this game. But I doused that torch, or is that a waste of a water arrow? I think I don't know. Screw it. Okay, well that was a mistake, because that alerted them. Man's moving up in the world. Take us idiots with you. Hey man, how's it going? Glad to see you here for once, especially because I actually am playing something you're interested in for once. I think they might be stuck.
Eternal fire will reclaim you.
I'm pretty sure they're stuck. Okay, let me reload.
So this is where the mages hide their dirty little secrets.
Okay, that is a bit of a problem though, because I can't just walk up. And this is the safest route to go upstairs. There are other ways to go upstairs, but they're very risky. And it seems like they're stuck. I don't know if it's because of the HD mod or you guys just giving me bad energy or something, but this game has been really broken this run. I've never seen it have this many bugs before. I'll chalk it down to just the HD mod though. Mage Verlin. Azoran's interest in necromancy has not diminished despite his banishment. His study of the black arts continues at his Pyrean Dayport. We fear that his experiments with the reanimation of rats and insects will lead to more disturbing depths. He has even endeavored to recruit others on a crusade to recover the Book of Ash. The Book of Ash must remain a thing of the past. Azoran's ambition has blinded him to this, and he has proven himself a threat to our existence. His expulsion has only made him more resilient. It is the decision of the Inner Circle that greater measures be taken to correct this matter. Ashmesh Corino. Now, keep this guy... I mean, it's probably not going to be easy for you guys to remember all of this, because it's going to take me a while to get to Thief 2, but this is something that we actually encounter in Thief 2, a bit of a minor spoiler there. This, like, Necromancer Tower is a place that you can actually visit in the second game, which is really cool. But in the first game, this basically has absolutely no meaning for us. The Book of Ash isn't really an item that, it's a really neat item that we get to steal in the future. Sadly, that is not the case. It's just more like world building, I guess. Mastery of water requires that you return to the ways of your beginning. For 9 moons you lived in water, and then were born to a world of air and earth. You have forgotten your past, but we will teach you to remember. Put away mortal thoughts of breath and discover the ways of the sea. Do not walk the path with your limbs. Instead, allow your body to flow within it and become part of it. Until you have gained full mastery over water, return to the air, O Adept, and cherish its protective succor. In time, you will feel the warm embrace of water, traversing the entire system without need of breath. The Book of Corwin Scale, 712. I guess this is their sort of like their Bible or whatever. I found it was that easy to just become an amphibian. But yeah, I really like the little notes like this that basically explain the process of the mages and how they master their elements. This is not the first, well, it is the first, but this is not the only such note that we will encounter in this mission. At least they're idle. Blaming skill issue on the audience, pathetic. Also found a pretty decent beta light. Yes, you told me, Rai. You don't have to. You don't need to tell me on the streams as well. I saw your message earlier. 8 old men up in a tower. 8 old men, only one with power. Turn away from the hand with the sword. Count 7 and find your reward. Now this is actually a hint to how we get the talisman, but it will become more relevant in the future, and we will actually get an exact copy of this readable, but in the form of a note that we can carry around with us. So it's not really that crucial for us to remember it right now. Okay, well, because they're stuck, I'm gonna go downstairs first. Normally I leave the downstairs for last, but it is what it is. If the game wants to be broken, so be it. So as I said, there are 2 mages to patrol this downstairs library section. Usually they're bunched together, but looks like this time they're a bit more spread out, so I have to be quick. Both of them come down this aisle. I don't think they go down the other one, so I like to hide one of their bodies like right around here between the rafters in the dark. Usually this is enough to not have them have the other guy spot it, and then just wait in the darkness for the other one. There he comes.
Wind blows, fire burns, earth shakes, water flows.
I don't always respond, Rai. Usually I don't respond because I'm doing something else, but I do read messages. Yeah, and yes, we do have loot down here. I think that's the only piece of loot though, but better than nothing. Judging by our absurd, ludicrous loot go of 1800, every little bit helps here. People would instantly start bitching about a feature like that. But still. Yeah, honestly, I am glad that Discord doesn't have a red tag, because like sometimes, I'm not referring to you specifically, Rai, just to be clear, but sometimes there are like some people that I don't want them knowing that I'm like, oh, I've read the message. I prefer privacy, basically. And having a read tag kind of takes away from that privacy. So like we once were, are these who now inhabit this land. They are the chrysalis that shall become. We have adopted those few who have shown potential for enlightenment. From the notes of Archmage Garrett's prophecies. Interesting. Kind of makes you wonder what their recruitment process is like. Discorders will complain about anything. You know who else would complain about anything? Minecrafters. And yes, I know I'm guilty of that. I'm still gonna complain about the copper tools. Or at least their implementation. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna risk it. Let's see if this works. Okay, where are they? Oh, look at that! They got stuck in the most stupid of ways imaginable. Oh man, that really sucks, because there's absolutely no way for me to actually get to them. Because one of them is looking at the opposite direction, Even if I douse the torch and come out from that door, the other one will get alerted by the torch being doused. This is the worst possible scenario to be in right now. Well, in any case, there is a probable book here, which opens up a secret area, which has the raging glasses.
Doesn't make any fence crack a smile.
That's how you get that. At least this was far away enough so that they don't get aggroed. And over here we have a very important readable. I can find it. Here we go. Notes from Council Session of the Inner Circle. Due to a disastrous experiment by Archmage Yabun Ibn Lani, the water tower will be closed until further notice due to flooding. All future experiments using water elementals are forbidden by mutual consent of the Inner Circle until we can devise stronger wards. Our keep must remain unified and maintain tradition. Each tower holds the key of another to maintain the doctrine of trust. Since the key to the Tower of Water was lost controlling the accident, the fire mages have no symbol to guard. Therefore, the fire mages shall keep the key to the chamber of in the central tower that holds our treasured possession. The key to the Tower of Earth shall remain in the Tower of Water, since the water mages are the only ones who can survive entering the flooded areas. Archmage Krios. And this is exactly why I despise replaying this mission. Every single time, regardless of difficulty, you have to go through the same towers, which is extremely linear as well, by the way. It's not like, oh, maybe inside of the towers there's like multiple challenges you can do. No, it's the exact same thing every time. You have to go to the water tower, the earth tower, the air tower, and the fire tower, exactly in that order. It's not even randomized. It has to be exactly in that order in order to actually get the talisman. It's really, really annoying. And to add insult to injury, there isn't even any loot in any of the towers. So it basically feels like a complete waste of time. At least if there was loot there, like if the loot was more, instead of all the loot being in the freaking central keep, if there was some loot in the towers, that would have been great, because at least I would feel like I'm making progress as I'm progressing through these really annoying challenges, and you see how annoying they are. But yeah, this is basically the explanation of why me and I'm pretty sure many other people take issue with this particular mission. It's kind of sad because 2 of the 3 missions introduced in Thief Gold are honestly really bad. They're still better than the late game missions in the vanilla game, but yeah, that's not really saying much. The dancing. Oh, something is a distraction. I guess I can douse the flame from further away. That should distract him, I hope. Maybe that'll get him out of the way. Archmage Osama Bin Laden. I'm surprised YouTube didn't censor that. Why isn't there an alcohol and gambling element? We have enough of that to dealing with the... Oh crap, there is actually life there. Okay, let me see. Will this work? Aha! Here we go. We unlocked them. Hell yeah! Now the problem is this guy is coming down here and he might spot me. Gotta be very careful. He does have a health potion though. I might be in trouble, guys. It's a good thing this corner is not even a perfect shadow. Okay, can I sneak up on you? Yes! Aha! I'm the greatest player there ever was. Okay, I'm gonna hide these guys here. Did I get the wine from the wine cellar? I think I did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. That's the only piece of loot in the, like, I guess, ground floor of the keep. Now we're about to enter the first floor, but before we do, there is actually a very interesting room that I avoided deliberately because it would have alerted these guys as well, because it's marble flooring. But there's this side room here, which is honestly really creepy. There's these 4 statues which are actually interactable, and here's what happens.
Greed shall be your undoing, poor Garrett. Betrayal will force you to seek Garrett. Deception is your power, Garrett. Do not let fear control your path, Garrett.
Yeah, this room really impressed me the first time I played this mission. It's really cool because the statues actually do talk about, like, or foreshadow, I should say, future events in the story. Deception will be, greed will be on your undoing. I mean, that was honestly kind of obvious, but betrayal, even though betrayal was also obvious, it's just cool that they added something like that. Okay, this room is honestly really annoying because it's very well lit. So I like to just completely submerge it in darkness if I can actually aim. There we go. And there is also, I believe, a mage that patrols up here as well. Gotta wait for him. While we wait, there are some goodies on the table. Oh, there he is. Okay, what is this? I think I know what this is. Yep, this is, for some reason there is a copy of this note. We already read this, but this is like a portable copy. Good thing you put out those torches, they were a fire hazard. Honestly, yeah. I never even realized that they're literally right below wooden beams.
What's that? Who goes?
Okay, that was close. He almost spotted him. Get out of here. Okay, I think that's everyone who patrols this upstairs area. Let me hide these bodies. I also remembered that I forgot to show the statistics of the previous mission when we ended it. What a shame. Alright, these side, like, I don't even know what to call these, side booths, I guess. They do have loot.
Listen,
I hear something.
hear that? Watch out! The intruder's a killer.
Crap. Crap. Okay. Aha! Okay, that was close. I was wrong. There was actually a third guy that enters this area. But I think... Actually... I think I forgot a body. I think I forgot the body of the female servant down there and someone spotted it. Well, that's not good. Note to self, do not go down there. But yeah, both this guard post or guard booth or whatever you want to call it and the one on the opposite end have a purse on the table. So let's go get the other one. Also, there's this. I think there's a guard here that we can pickpocket. No, I'm thinking of a different area. Might as well douse this in case the other guy comes up here. Oh yeah, it's that guy. So that guy somehow noticed the dead body down there. Huh. Oh well. Should I? Actually, I have an idea. This is completely unnecessary and probably way too risky, but let's try it. Yeah, I did forget the body down there. I'm a freaking idiot. Alright. Haha! My plan worked. I'm a genius. This is why I love this game. It's really satisfying when you know what the heck you're actually doing. They just don't make the games like they used to, man. Back in my day, games were actually good and fun and required skill. Oh, come on. There we go. Old man Garrett can't climb. I also feel evil when you use if statements. Depends on the context. If in my opinion, if an if chain is more than 3 statements long, then you have a problem. You're better off either converting it to a switch case or just rewriting the code entirely. But just using if statements for like 1 to up to 3 conditions is fine. A chain of 3 is okay. A chain of 10 is bad. Okay, how the fuck did you get alerted, man? What the hell was that about?
Alright, where are you?
Ah, crap. Please don't spot me, please don't spot me, please don't spot me. Pro tip, by the way, if you pick up a body, you have lower chances of being spotted. Not necessarily you, but the body has a lower chance of being... Oh, crap. Well, I guess it doesn't matter.
Is that the best you can do?
Got him. But yeah, if you have like a body lying, even if it's in a perfect shadow like this, if you pick it up, you will not be... Like, the body will not be spotted as easily if you just leave it there, even if it's a perfect shadow. I have noticed from playing this game so much that apparently enemies are more sensitive to dead bodies rather than the player when it comes to spotting them in darkness. So yeah, pro tip there, if you're in a situation like that, make sure you actually carry the body with you instead of just leaving it in the darkness. Although I guess you could argue that you could use it as a distraction so that the enemy is like, oh, a dead guy! And you can then sneak up on him, but better safe than sorry, I suppose. Alright, so currently we're in the central tower. We can either go up or down. If we go down, I believe we're gonna end up at the wine cellar, I think. We're close enough, this place, yeah. Okay, so... we can keep going down lower to enter the basement and the sewer, but that is our escape, so I usually like to go there last. There is also loot down there, but as I said, that is our exit, so I'm saving it for last. Instead, I'm gonna go upstairs. This right here is the area that I was talking about, the 3rd floor, and this is where we get our second special loot item, which is the necklace that the captain of the guard got. And there's a bunch of other goodies up here as well. Yeah, under a dev. Unironically, Classic Plus's code base is almost entirely comprised of if statements too. I'm really embarrassed by it. There's one game that you had to be silent on your mic because it detects your voice and alert the enemy. Yeah, that would have been really cool for this. Honestly, I low-key hope that the upcoming Thief VR game implements something like that. I think that would further add to the immersion, and the whole idea behind Thief is it's supposed to be an immersive sim and all. So that would be really cool. I'm really hoping that they do something like that. Of course, VR is still incredibly gimmicky, but... I love Thief so much that I'm willing to play it, only if it's good though. I'm willing to get a VR just to play it.
Look, over there.
Intruder!
Oh, come on! How did you get alerted, man? Oh, thank God that I managed to knock him out. Okay, these are the only guards up here, thankfully. As I said, this is very heavily guarded. There's only 3 guards, but it's a very tight space. And usually they're bunched together, at least 2 of them, like that, so it can be quite dangerous. I usually like to store them in these, like, side rooms here. This one also has loot. The other one doesn't. The other one is completely empty. See? And this room over here is actually really cool because it has a overlook of the entrance. We started down there. But other than that, it's pretty pointless. have to move these guys, by the way, because nobody else will leave this room unless you somehow alert the people inside of these rooms. Because I think there's one servant and 2 sleeping guards in these rooms. And if you do happen to wake them up, even if they don't spot you, they might go outside to investigate, which is why I like to move these guys here. It's very unlikely that if you alert someone, they will go all the way over there. Usually they just patrol the hallway and that's it. So here's the servant. Very easy. One thing to note about servants that I don't think I've actually said yet is that unlike regular guards, but even regular guards, if they do spot you, you can still blackjack them. You just have to get behind them, but it's kind of jank. Servants, you can blackjack them at any time if they get alerted by your presence, even from the front. So even if they spot you, it's no big deal, as long as you're quick in knocking them out. You cannot do the same with guards, sadly. They're a bit more finicky. Oh, actually, it's 1 guard and 2 servants. One of the servants is sleeping.
Please don't.
See? That's what I mean. If this was a guard, that wouldn't have worked. Okay, and last one. And there's the sleeping guard. Could I use a moss arrow for this? Yeah, might as well. I was kind of saving them for the towers, because the towers are super duper annoying, but... Yeah, see? Very good demonstration there. Completely accidental, but a very good demonstration.
Hey!
Of course, if you are fast enough, you can still knock him out, but... Okay, here's a very easy to miss piece of loot. And this is why I took a rope arrow. Gold nugget up there. You don't have to pick it up in order to get the required loot objective, because it's only, I think, 100 gold, but it is nice to have. And of course, you do need it if you want to go for 100%. If statements aren't as bad for performance as you might think, only if you use them really excessively and during like active runtime, only then are they problematic. But if they're like, if you use a bunch of if statements, for example, just when loading a GUI, for example, if you don't load the GUI every frame, for example, if statements don't get code every frame, then it's honestly not a problem at all. It's just for code readability's sake. It's only bad if you overuse if statements during like active processes, like what Yandere Dev does for literally everything. But if you just use them for like a block of code that gets executed semi-frequently or only like once or twice whenever you load like a GUI or whatever, then it's fine. It's just, in that case, becomes just a liability for readability. That was a weird sentence. On guard. Yep. I love the AI. It's so ridiculous.
Looks like Captain Regalio's been holding out on the mages. Good
And
thing
you're
he can't-
dead.
Fuck's sake! Oh, and I'm back here now because I forgot to quick save.
We've gotten it!
I forgot to knock him out. Oh, let's do this again. Actually, do any of my keys open this? Nope. Have to pick it. I much prefer the lockpicking minigame in Thief 3. I'm definitely gonna play the other Thief games on the channel, by the way, even Thief 4, even though that game is trash.
Hey!
Oh, how did you spot me, dude? Which I'm definitely gonna play the other Thief games on the channel at some point in the future. Okay, he's sleep. Are you a horse? He's. Okay, yeah, I think the HD mod might be a bit busted. This has never happened. Again, I've played this game so many times over the years, and this has never happened to me.
What's it?
Oh. God damn it. Alright, let's read this before we pick up the amulet, because that makes a bit more sense. Recovering the golden medallion of St. Burrington will reward all the sweat I put into the endless hunt for those damned talismans. By selling it, I will surely make some profit off of this ordeal. In all my years of service to the Hand, I have never seen their efforts so thoroughly stymied. It's almost as though one of their own had taken and hidden the talisman so completely that not even the archmages can find them. Captain E.F. Regalio. Now, I really like this note because it sort of puts into perspective just how secretive the keepers are, because we know that the keepers are the ones who scattered the talismans and like hid them in these various areas. And it is implied with this note that originally the talismans actually belonged to the Hand Brotherhood, because, you know, they have the 4 towers, so you would think that each tower would hold one of the talismans. So this note, like, I guess indirectly confirms that the keepers had like people in the Hand Brotherhood undercover who actually stole the talismans and like hid them in various areas to just make it more difficult to actually get all the talismans at once, in order to open the cathedral door. So at least that's how I interpret this note. Of course, I could be talking out of my ass, but yeah. That's really the magic behind good writing, in my opinion. Having the reader think about like what this piece of text or dialogue or whatever could actually mean in the grand scheme of things. That is something, in my opinion, that indicates great writing, and this game has a lot of that.
Looks like Captain Regalio's been holding out on the mages. Good thing he can't hold out on me.
And then, as you can see, we got both of these special loot items. We still need to get more loot, though. And as I said, we have a bunch more loot, both at the central tower where the talisman is, and also in the basement. So, not to worry there. But unfortunately, before we do any of that, we have to go for the gauntlet of stupid elemental towers. That's really gonna suck. Up here, this door... actually, we can open this door. We cannot open the door after it. Never mind. I don't think we can open this. Oh, we can. Okay. Might as well show this off real quick and get rid of this stupid mage. Be very careful because this is marble tiles. So it will alert that guy if you're close enough to him, and he does come all the way down, so I'm gonna wait here in the darkness for him to knock him out. We also got this papyrus, which is actually the exact same as that, yeah, this one. It's the exact same as that readable in the library, that book. And this is actually important for us because it's a hint on how we can get the talisman, but that'll come in play later. It's just nice that they give you a portable version, so we don't have to go all the way down to the library just to read it. And furthermore, they give it to you up here. There we go. That's the only guy who shows up here. I could go upstairs just to show you, but there is just basically a door there that can only get unlocked with a special key, so you're not really missing out on much. We'll be back here in a bit anyway. Let's go deal with the towers now. This is easily the worst part of this mission. The central keep itself is fine. I think it's a well-designed level. It's a good dungeon and everything. It's just, these towers, they're just so freaking annoying every goddamn time. I'm gonna take a shortcut here. This will lead me out to the courtyards, and there is loot here as well. Okay, that is the fire tower. That is the last tower that we are gonna enter. That is, I think, the earth tower?
There is a disturbance.
Crap. Okay, well, let's get down this way. So each one of these gardens This basically each one of these gardens in front of the towers is a hedge maze, and there are two, and yes, exactly two mages patrolling about, and one guard, I believe. And the mages are always bunched up together like this.
Our son, you cannot change my destiny, thief.
Which is really annoying, as you might guess. Alright. And this is the other annoying part. Because you have to do them in a specific order, you have to basically waste time going in between each tower. There's the water tower. That's the tower we need right now. This is why I really hate this level.
Oh.
Oh, come on. How did I miss a stationary target? He said it, he said thief. He said the name of the game, guys. This is this is one thing I actually dislike about games being named in such a way. Like, yeah, Thief is a great name for a game. And the Dark Project, but whenever it gets said in-game, it always comes off as cringe, in my opinion. He said he did it, guys. He said the thing. Yeah, where are they coming from? Oh, these guys are actually more spread out. Yep, I genuinely have no idea what the hell is going on with the AI in this. And there's the guard.
Oh, well.
There's two guards. Okay. I don't remember there being two guards.
Let's go.
How did you... Dude! Okay, I'm convinced that the HD mod fucks with the enemy AI, because that never happens, even on expert. That absolutely never under any circumstances happens in vanilla.
Yeah.
That is a lot of bull crap right there.
Why are the hand mages the only ones?
Oh, there's two more guards here.
Why won't they allow us into their towers?
We're here to keep a watch on the commons and to deal with mundane threats. The mages can protect themselves.
But what with all the secrecy? Even the servants ain't allowed there. These wizards trust anyone?
I found it best not to ask questions. The gold they give me answers all the questions I have.
Very mysterious. Oh! And one of them goes around. Actually, both of them go. Okay, yeah, I think that guy goes that way. How on earth are you being triggered, man? I hate this. God, that is so annoying, because I'm used to it not being this way. And it's not like it's dangerous or anything, because you can just sneak up behind him. It just takes more time.
Back out here, you.
It just takes more time, especially when you have such a time-consuming mission like this one. For literally no reason, just because the developers were bored, I guess. I mean, I get it. I get it why they did it this way, but... I just don't think it's very well executed. Anyway, this is our first tower. I have no idea what's going on with the textures there, but... yeah, as you can see, this is where the key normally was, but it's broken. And, yeah, I really don't know why the walls are water as well. That is not a vanilla thing. That is a hiccup of the HD mod. Is the HD mod even intended for Thief Gold? Not sure. But up here we have the... yeah, that is some very weird texture work. But yeah, that was... we picked up the Earth Key. That was really quick. If only it was that quick for all the others. The other towers, but sadly that is not the case. This is in fact the only quick one. Water PNG. It is a GIF, it's an animated texture. Okay, now we have to go to the Earth Tower, which is... okay, that is the Central Tower. Where is the Earth Tower, actually? See, this is what I mean. I'm already getting confused because I can never remember the layout. Okay, that is the Earth Tower. I guess I'm just gonna leave those 2 guards patrolling because it is what it is. If I run into them, that's gonna be bad, but oh well. Not much I can do about that now, can I? Alright, yeah, I think I knocked the mages out here, so let's go inside the tower now. And again, he's stuck. Okay, yeah, this has to be the HD mod doing this, because this has never happened. I know I sound like a broken record, but I do mean it. I've played this game so many times. None of these issues have ever been a thing in the vanilla game. Well, at least in this case, it makes my job easier. Well, note to self, never use the HD mod in the future. I saw that there is an HD mod for the second thief. Hopefully it works better than this one. I would presume it does, because the second thief has a new dark natively, whereas Thief 1 is basically a port. It's kind of a janky one. GG objective, because we're all citizens of the... Cool Earth wraps tightly... Oh, this is another one of those notes that explains how the hand mages like master the elements, which is really cool. Cool Earth wraps tightly around us. Constrictive veins of tower tunnels caress beating heart of grinding rock. In mastery of my element, I leap from stone to falling stone. Borders float as feathers. Scribbled poetry. Adept Around's notebook. Yeah, it works fine in Metal Age for the most part. Oh, you have used it? So I guess I will use it in Thief 2, but definitely not in Thief 1 in the future. Thief uses the Dark Engine, which is basically a self-made engine. It's not really based on anything as far as I know. It's not like Goat Source, which is based off the Quake engine. It's literally a standalone thing.
The shadows will not shelter you forever.
There's two mages here, one in the bottom floor, one in the top floor. What's annoying as well, and this is a vanilla thing, is that when you climb up, you have to climb up here with the step, and you always make noise, and that is actually a vanilla issue. Also, I should mention that each elemental mage actually has a different attack. The fire mages shoot fire arrows, basically, they're the most powerful. These guys, what are they called? The earth mages shoot vines, which constrict you. And when the vines constrict you, you move much slower, so it becomes more difficult to dodge the other vines. And they also deal damage to you over time. The air mages, they shoot air at you, literally. I think it's just a reskinned fire arrow, honestly. And the water mages, basically a reskinned water arrow as well, a fire arrow. Not entirely sure. Okay, there's the guy. Now, you're expected to climb these moving platforms here, but that is an absolute complete waste of time, like this entire mission is. What I do is I just climb up on there, and then up on there. I'll just wait for this guy to go around, and then you can use a rope arrow to climb all the way up. You don't have to wait for these stupid platforms. So this room is a lot more confusing than it actually is.
What vision disturbs me?
Boom. What if the VR thief uses Unreal? I don't know. As long as it's made well, like Unreal isn't the problem necessarily. It's the catalyst of the problem. The problem is that just devs don't use it properly, I guess. But I don't blame the devs too much either, because it is very confusing to use it properly. I'm speaking from experience. Future Thief games use Unreal, I'ma kill myself. We're at the point with video games where everything uses Unreal 5 and they all look the same. Yeah, true. Although from the one trailer we have of the new VR Thief, it looks more reminiscent of Thief 4. And honestly, maybe a hot take, but I think Thief 4 looked okay. Like the atmosphere, the world design and all that stuff was fine in my opinion. It was just the gameplay and story that was absolute garbage. The visuals were actually fine for the most part. So if they actually keep the visuals consistent with the 4th game, I think it's gonna be fine in terms of visuals. I'm more interested in the gameplay. And of course the story. Story is actually important in Thief as well. Because the story in Thief 4 is basically a nothing burger. Another thing that's really annoying about the Earth Tower, which is this one, is it's all mazes. I hate mazes. And they're being patrolled by these freaking idiots. And sometimes they go around corners and they spot you and they start immediately attacking you, and they're really annoying to get rid of. And I can never remember how many there are, and it's just a mess. I absolutely hate these towers. On paper, they're a great idea. I can see why the developers did them the way they did, but at the same time, it feels completely unnecessary. Again, if you just sprinkled like at least a few coins here and there in each one of these towers, it would have been fine. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. Now I have to reload a save. This is why I've made it a habit to save scum basically constantly, because otherwise I end up wasting way too much time. At least when I'm playing on expert. If I was playing on normal, I wouldn't care and I would just kill everyone, but I'm playing on expert for you guys, so... Our engine stuff is in 5 now, you need 5090, yeah. Nothing like the original games. My stupid 13-year-old ass was pretty impressed with Thief 4's graphics and really wanted to try it. I didn't discover Thief until for fuck's sake. I didn't discover Thief until either 2017 or 2018. One of the two. I think 2017, I would say. But the first Thief game that I played was actually Thief 3. And you might be like, wow, you're a goddamn retard. Why would you play Thief 3 over 1 and 2? It's not labeled Thief 3. It's actually called Thief Deadly Shadows, but it is the 3rd game, and the story is actually a continuation of the 2nd game. The main difference is that in Thief 3, story can actually be played standalone, which is why it's not named Thief 3. It's just Thief Deadly Shadows, but it is the 3rd game. But of course, when I first discovered Thief, I didn't know that Thief Deadly Shadows was actually the 3rd game, so that's why I played it. And then I realized, oh wait, there's actually 2 more Thief games. I should check them out too, because I enjoyed Thief 3 quite a bit. And yeah, and ever since then I've fallen in love with this franchise.
A mystery presents itself.
So here we have 2 mages, and I usually always get spotted by one of them, and if that happens I just bum rush it to the upper floor. But this time I was actually successful for once. This room is actually...
You cannot change my destiny, thief.
As I was saying, this room is actually well designed for the most part, because you really have to use the game's strong point, which is the audio. Like, you gotta listen carefully and closely to the footsteps and where they are, so you can locate your target.
Is this a vision?
Really, these guys are the prey. I'm not the prey, they are. If you're good at the game, at least that's how it feels like. If you're not good at the game, it's the opposite, and both are good feelings, in my opinion. If you're not good at the game, you feel vulnerable. If you're good at the game, you feel like they're your prey. It's a win-win. That is the power of good game design, folks. And here we have more of the maze. Of course, I know exactly where to go, but this was very confusing for me the first time I played it. Noob, I played it in 2004 when I was free. I played other games in 2004 when I was already 7. Oh my god. But yeah, I played the original Call of Duty back then. That was fun. And Half-Life. Actually, no, Half-Life I played in 2007. In 2009 I played Quake 3 and World of Padman. There's the key. Also, this is the area I mentioned at the beginning where you are required to use rope arrows. You do get 2 rope arrows. You get one at the very start and one right at the chest, so we can actually leave. But if you do actually waste the rope arrows, because these walls are stone, then you will get soft-locked, which is really dumb. A very, very massive oversight. They thought about the fire arrow soft-locking, but they didn't think about the rope arrow one. Because if I was them, I would have made all of the walls here be a soft material instead of just the ceiling. That would have basically nullified that issue. But, oh well. Crap. Oh, they did add more rope arrows down here if you do get stuck. But again, let me demonstrate here. Oh. What about the floor? Aha, the floor! See? So I was partially correct. So the walls are actually soft material, but the floor still isn't. And this is something I learned in university. Always idiot-proof your software. Whether it be a video game or a user interface for an application, always make sure that you make it as... what's the word I'm looking for? It mustn't be error prone, basically, because treat your user like an idiot. Chances are they are. That's literally the words of one of my teachers in university. So, of course, you might be saying, oh, nobody would waste the rope arrows on the floor, but you never know. Maybe you only have one rope arrow, maybe your hand slips or something. Anything could happen. Like maybe you're aiming up at the ceiling and your hand slips at the last moment. You maybe have a seizure or something, and then you shoot at the ground. And if you haven't been quick saving, then you'll basically have to replay the entire freaking mission again. So that is just the basics of good design. I'm not trying to trash talk the game, by the way. This is a fantastic game. I'm just like pointing out the little flaws. That is the thing with me, right? Whenever I'm passionate about something, be it a video game, usually video games, but be it a video game or something else, a franchise or a movie even, I'm very critical of like the flaws that it has, because I'm already well aware of all the positives. So whenever I find a flaw, I'm like, oh, that's really bad. This is how I would change it. That is literally what started my whole like modding project for Minecraft, because I'm very passionate, or at least was passionate about the game. Yeah, that's why I basically made my own. Also, I do want to make a like a campaign, not even a fan mission, but a fan campaign for Thief. That is going to be like my own continuation of Garrett's story, or rather the story of his apprentice. But that's spoilers for the next game, which for the 3rd game and its ending. So I'm not gonna talk about that right now, but I will talk about it once we get to the 3rd game. Oh, I forgot that these guys are a thing.
Oh.
Crap. Pick him up. Okay. Whew. Yeah, I have no idea how he did not spot me, but that works for me. Foolproof. Yes, but idiot-proof is the same thing. In fact, it's even better, because anyone can be a fool, not anyone can be an idiot. The remakes or Legacy Plus? Legacy Plus, of course. The remakes mean absolutely nothing to me. Okay, that is the fire. I definitely want to avoid the fire right now. I mean, I don't have an option. I have to avoid it. Let's go to the air. We've been doing these towers for what, like 20 minutes? And we're only halfway there, by the way. Keep that in mind. Okay, thankfully this is the last area with mages. Just gotta be quick. Okay, somehow this guy did not get alerted, even though his budget went down. And other guys, other like pairs of patrolling people got like triggered when I killed their freaking friend across the freaking map. Don't you be saying that about Legacy Plus once you start a new project? Most likely not, because Legacy Plus I did actually put a lot of effort into, unlike the remakes. And it's actual like Like, here's the thing, right? If that was the case, right, I would be trash talking In-Depth Plus the same way I'm trash talking Classic Plus and the remakes right now, ever since I finished In-Depth Plus. But that's not the case. In fact, I'm still updating In-Depth Plus occasionally with like small improvements because I really want the mod to be better, and I know it has a lot of potential. And I still have more ideas for content that I want to add in the future that I've written down. So expect more updates at some point. So that itself is proof that no, I will always be proud of those two mods in particular. Classic Plus is just awful because it has basically absolutely no game design, absolutely no purpose, and the code base is an absolute atrocity to mankind. In-Depth Plus has a lot of software depth as well, but it's nowhere near the levels of Classic Plus. Classic Plus is literally Yandere code, whereas In-Depth Plus is just... It was written for single player, so maintaining the multiplayer as a result is really tedious. It's not impossible, just tedious. That's why I still haven't updated the server, even though I updated the client recently. And that is also why I'm working hard on cleaning up the In-Depth Plus code base, so that I can have it in a more usable state for the future, so I can keep updating and iterating on it. Now, I'm not saying that Legacy Plus is the peak of my content. I do
Was a false vision.
hope that my future endeavors will be even more ambitious and impressive. I'm just saying that I will not forget Legacy Plus, especially In-Dev and If-Dev Plus, the same way I forgot Classic Plus and the remakes. I guess you could argue that Classic Plus and the remakes were like my beginning, like wholesome beginnings or whatever, that if it wasn't for them I would have never even learned coding or whatever. And I guess that's true to some extent, but at the same time I was like really terrible at it back then. I wasn't putting the effort that I should have been. That's also true for Inf-Dev Plus and In-Dev Plus 2, but nowhere near on the level of Classic Plus. Crap.
Something is amiss.
Oh, come on! How am I still? I was in shadow!
False vision.
So this area is really, really annoying. You have two mages, and everything is marble, which is why I took the moss. What I like to do is I like to wait at this doorway, because both of them come down here. So wait at the doorway, knock one of them out, bring them downstairs, and then knock the other guy out as he passes by. There is
a disturbance.
Yeah, there's an area right here which is a perfect shadow, as you can see, that you can use to hide yourself.
With my senses.
So it's not difficult. It's not as difficult as you might think once you figure out like the tricks. It's just annoying because it's so time consuming and you have to do it every run. This is why I normally, whenever I'm replaying the game on my own,
Fire burn.
ever since I played the original game, because I mentioned this in an earlier episode, in an earlier mission, but there is a way to actually downgrade your Thief Goat copy into Thief the Dark Project using a mod. And ever since I tried that mod, honestly, that mod has been my go-to whenever I'm replaying this game, just because it removes all the bloat. Sure, it also removes Song of the Caverns, which is the only genuinely excellent mission. It's one of the best missions in Thief 1. It can rival the Sword in terms of quality. So it's a real shame that you lose out on that, but honestly it's worth it because you don't have to deal with this crap or the Thieves Guild. And it still makes like the story cohesive. Because there is actually a... This guy always gets me. Because there is actually a feature that you can use to literally skip a mission. So most players, instead of, you know, going through the hassle of downloading a mod to downgrade their version, they just skip those two missions in particular, Thieves Guild and this one. Are you shitting me right now? They usually skip those two missions. But I don't like that because it still implies that, how did I get the Earth Talisman? So I don't know, I just prefer the Dark Project over Thief Gold. Because 2 of the 3 missions here are absolute filler, in my opinion. And not very good. Thankfully, these 3 are the only mages in this tower. The rest is literally platforming. And you already know that this game has really wonky physics. And moving platforms on the Dark Engine... yeah, this is not a good mix. Especially if you're impatient like me. Classic Plus is classic with extra blocks. InDev Plus is peak. InDev Plus is 3D Terraria. InDev Plus is like a mixture of Terraria, Terraformacraft, modern Minecraft, and a little bit of Minetest in terms of like world gen. Those synthy tones in the back were reused in Metal Age and the Masks mission. Were they? I don't remember them. I actually haven't played Thief 2 as much as I've played Thief 1, surprisingly. I've played Thief 1 probably a dozen times, and Thief 2 maybe 7 or 8 times, and Thief 3 probably 4 times. Thief 3 was actually my favorite for a long time, but yeah, it's now Thief 2. Even though I played Thief 1 more. But I mostly play Thief 1 more because of the whole Gold versus the Dark Project split. I find that quite frankly fascinating. But yeah, all these rooms here, I feel like could have been cut down to like half of this amount of rooms and it would have been fine. Like this is just dragging on for way too long. But this is, ironically enough, the Air Tower was actually my favorite when I first played this mission. Mostly because of those same tunes that Yoski mentioned. But also I just loved like the texture work, like these crystals or whatever they're supposed to be, and the vibe of this place. And also the top of the tower is really pretty. Like you have a direct view of the skyline, and it's just so... It's a vibe, you know? But when you're replaying the game and you have to deal with all this nonsense every time, it tends to get annoying. And here's another annoying puzzle. I'm gonna use a speed potion here. You have to throb one of these, go all the way there, throb the other one, that'll lower the chest. You have to lockpick it, and the developers made it in such a way that no matter how fast you are, you have to do this twice. It's so freaking annoying. This is the biggest metaphor of how annoying this entire mission is. Kind of like how the TFC devs went to make Vintage Story. It's not the TFC devs, actually. Vintage Craft is the original mod that Vintage Story is based off of, and Vintage Craft is based off of TFC. It's not TFC. Hi, Jonas. Welcome back to the stream. It can be very similar to Terraria, even though InDev Plus did world hopping. Again, Terraria is so bloated with worthless junk that it's honestly kind of hard to avoid being like Terraria, because if no matter what item you think of, chances are it exists already in Terraria, because, I mean, for Christ's sake, the game has 5,000 items. That is why I really dislike modern Terraria. Very, very unpopular opinion. I don't care if it gets me cancelled. I was already cancelled once. That is just my opinion on Terraria. It's bloated to hell. People like to complain about bloat in modern Minecraft, but Terraria suffers from the same thing. Okay, now we got the final key, the fire key. We have to go to the stupid fire tower now. I've been streaming for an hour and a half almost, and we're still not done with the elemental challenges. We're probably looking at a 2-hour stream here. Okay, I'm in a glitched state right now. That's fun. At least I actually managed to get up on the platform, because normally that's not really a thing. Got very jaded with mods, adding Chiraya content and just ripping it with no effort. If you're implying InfDev Plus does that, I don't know what to tell you, because I can assure you that is not what I do. Oh yeah, each tower, by the way, has this door that you can open, except the water tower, which leads to basically the central keep. Now, normally you would be like, oh, this seems useful. This is like a shortcut. No, it's not. Because it doesn't allow you to actually enter the towers. So, honestly, these doors are completely pointless unless you're already in the fire tower. Because if you're in the fire tower, you can take this door to get back to the central tower and save on a few minutes of walking time. And just go straight for the treasure. Which is what I'm going to do. But this one is pretty much pointless. And also that area is very well guarded, so... the best way to describe literally half of this mission is a waste of time. You could have easily done away with all of this nonsense and just had you do one of the towers, maybe by choice, maybe randomly, and call it a day. That would have been a fantastic mission, in my opinion. But having to do all 4 of them every single time is just... I mean, I can't blame the devs too much, because they definitely didn't make the game with replay value in mind. Only like autistic people like me would be like, oh, let's replay Thief Goat for the billionth time. But still, I feel like it could have in general just been executed better. At least if the Plus tries. I think it tries and succeeds for the most part. However, I was actually thinking about it recently, in fact today, and I came to the realization that a lot of the items can seem quite OP, because once you get them you can basically use them almost infinitely. So I was thinking that perhaps in the future I have plans to add a mana system where you have to like use up mana to actually use the magic items that you find in dungeon chests. So you're basically sort of like limited as to how much you can use each item, rather than just durability of the item itself. I feel like that would balance things out nicely. But of course that's for the far future. For now I'm focusing on just cleaning up the code base and making something usable out of it. Talking assets and all. Was one of the things that stood out. Make sure the mana is different from Terraria, or else you're never beating the allegations. I don't even remember how mana works in Terraria, honestly. I don't think you have abilities. I think it's literally the exact same. It's just you use it to use items. But it's a fine system. Like, it's not like they invented it. Mana in games has existed since forever. And here we have another note, but this one isn't about mastering fire or whatever. This one is actually quite interesting. To Adept Al-Hayr, Lieutenant Scar disobeyed Captain Regalius' specific orders and ventured into the Tower of Fire. Needless to say, he was ill-prepared to deal with the trials of flame and lava that await all entrants. The charred corpse was brought to the laboratories where it will be put to good use. The fire can cleanse us, but it is not for the commons. See to it that this incident serves as an example to others. Archmage Kamin Ramin. Very peculiar. Apparently these guys are like the Hammerites. They're above the law, because instead of returning the corpse to the guy's family, which I'm pretty sure he has a family, they're just like, oh, nope, let's experiment with it. Very weird. I honestly don't like this note all that much, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense in context. Adept Al-Hayr. You see a reference in Thief. Yeah, you've been playing Assassin's Creed recently, haven't you? I noticed on Steam you've been playing Assassin's Creed 4. I should play Assassin's Creed 4. I really hope it's better than Assassin's Creed 2, because I really disliked Assassin's Creed 2. Another unpopular opinion. I'm full of those. Okay, this is stupid. The lava normally glows, but here it doesn't seem to do the glowy bit. The lava isn't lava-ing. That is really annoying. God damn it, this HD mod sucks. I really hope the one for Thief 2 is better. Now, if you gas that guy... Also, this is gas arrows. I completely forgot to mention. This is a new arrow that gets introduced to us. In this mission. Gas arrows, basically, they're like long-range blackjack attacks. They knock out an enemy instead of killing it from afar. One thing to note here, I actually softlocked myself in this mission in my very first expert run. You know, wanna know why? So the thing with fire mages is they're immune to lava. They can literally walk in lava and not get hurt. What I did was I knocked this guy out with my gas arrow while he was in the lava, so he fell in the lava. Turns out lava works like water, and you can actually drown in lava, provided you don't die from it to begin with. Because this guy won't die from the lava, when he was knocked out in the lava, he actually drowned, because the game was basically treating as if he was underwater. And I was basically soft-locked, because I had knocked him out into the lava. It's lava, it kills me, so I couldn't just go inside of the lava to pick him up and rescue him. So there was nothing I could do. I was soft-locked and I had to restart the entire mission. So basically, a note to you guys, if you ever play this on expert, do not knock out this guy while he's in the lava. You will not have a fun time. Actually, I believe that might have actually happened when I was on a call with you, Yoski. I'm not sure if you remember, but I think that happened when I was on a call. When I was streaming my very first expert run. Story in AC4 is pretty good, one of my favorites, and the voice acting especially makes it shine. I do have plans to play all the Assassin's Creed games, even the trash ones eventually, but haven't really gotten around to doing it. Now, the fire tower is the worst one. It's the most difficult, but instead of difficult, I find it to be the most tedious. Everything is these loud metal tiles. There's a lot of mages running about. So you have to keep using, like, moss arrows as to not alert the mages. There's all these stupid freaking hot platforms that heat up over time, meaning that you can't really walk on them without taking ludicrous amounts of damage. It's really annoying. Like, this place is very frustrating to navigate. And usually, whenever I get to this tower in my playthroughs, I'm just so freaking done with everything that I just breeze past it. I don't even care about this guy. I literally just run past him. I'm like using straight up speedrunning strats just because this is so annoying. But for you guys, I'm gonna at least try to do it properly. I have plenty of moss arrows by now that I've accumulated throughout the run, so I'm just gonna spam them all over the ground. There is another guy. I don't know if he comes all the way down here though. I think he does. Does he? I think this is the last guy, I hope. Again, I actually don't remember the enemy placement in the Thief Gold missions as well as I do in the other missions, because I've been playing mostly with the mod that reverts, that basically downgrades the version for you, because I really dislike 2 of these missions. Thankfully, this is the last crappy mission for a good while, so... Oh, wait, I think there's another... Actually, no, I think that was that guy. I think we're in the clear, but I'm still gonna play it safe. Oh, never mind. Yeah, there is more. Ugh. There's a lot of the newer ones who are dragged about like 40 hours per game just to complete the story. Yeah, I heard that like the newer Assassin's Creed games are less about stealth and more about like RPG elements that nobody cares for. Okay, I should have saved my gas arrow because this area is a nightmare. Everything is metal, and there's 2 mages walking about here. There is a strategy that you can use here, but it's really slow, so be warned. Yeah, see how they walk past there? You can actually climb up on top of the railing and then climb up on top of there and knock them out as they go past. It's kind of finicky, because usually they spot you, but sometimes it can work. Usually though, what I do here is I just run past them and go straight for the treasure. Because I just completely lose it after a while. Like, we've been doing this for an hour and a half, and it feels like we've barely made any progress. It's just too much, man. It's too much. Okay, let me try to do this without alerting them. Alley-oop. Okay, that worked. And now we have to very slowly, but also very quickly, so that we don't make a whole lot of noise, move to the shadow. And maybe climb up. Yeah, so you see them? So they go around. So I think this guy is coming. Yeah, this guy's coming down. So I'm gonna try to find a perfect shadow here. Gotta be quick though, because this guy's on high on my heel. But if I'm quicker than the guy above me will hear me. See what I mean? This is really, really annoying. And again, don't throw their bodies in the not glowing lava, because they will die. Okay, got him. The other guy should be on his way down, I hope. I'm gonna dump this guy's body down there. Hopefully he won't be spotted. Also, the lava in the vanilla game does actually glow. I don't know why it's broken in this. Okay, here comes the other guy, finally. Okay, this is not a perfect shadow, but it is enough. We have established that much. As long as we're quick in doing this. Oh my god, it's 9 PM already. This is crazy. There we go. Okay, finally. These were officially the last 2. I forgot about these guys. Now we can just run across this loud-ass tile safely. There is a chest up here. I don't even know what it has. Normally I just ignore it because I'm on the run whenever I get to this part. Alright, then here we go. Final chest holding the final key, and this is another... It's very similar to the previous one, where you have to, like, alternate between these 2 heated panels or whatever they are. And if you're not fast enough, you will take damage. And then a lot of damage too, especially an expert. That was a close one.
Now for the talisman.
Finally. Okay. Save. Jump. Alley-oop. Alright, and as I promised, I'm gonna take the shortcut, because otherwise we're gonna be here literally all night if I go the long way back. Just gotta be careful with the stupid guards. Hopefully I get lucky and they're not around. I actually got lucky for once. Douse the flames, by the way, because you don't know where they're gonna come from. Usually they come from over there, so... If you keep this area in shadow, you will actually knock them out. Or, alternatively, what's safer, because they're definitely gonna get triggered, aggroed, if you knock out one of them now. Let me try it.
Hey, intruder!
You can just ignore them.
Was that supposed to hurt? Nice love pack, tougher.
Okay, got him. I think there's actually more guards. I think there's like 2 guards per tower. So we gotta be fast here. Gonna douse the flames. And this is the door that we need. This will take us back to the central tower where we can actually get the treasure finally. You guys probably even forgot what we're here for by this point. We're here for the talisman. Yeah, talisman. Finally, we're gonna get our hands on it. Jesus Christ. Here's the treasure key, and it goes right up here.
It's true he has returned. We must be ready. Rough waters lie ahead.
Many will not survive. We must try to redirect the current.
Try as we might to retrieve the talismans, the prophecy is an ocean returning to shore. Little we can do to prevent it, and prepare for its arrival.
Dry and dead is much of the city. The sun will oppose and the conflict will end in flames.
It's the way of things. Civilizations will burn into the earth, so that it may give life to the next.
Winds of progress always head towards the grave.
Soon, young apprentice, you shall grasp the truth of it. Wind blows.
I love that conversation.
Flows,
He has returned. I wonder who he is. But yeah, they're basically talking about the end of the world. End of the world scenarios. But I really love that line, civilizations burn into the ground so that it may give rise to the next. Never-ending cycle, eh?
It was nothing.
Aha! No, it was something. You should trust your instincts more. Alright, I'm gonna get the loot first before I explain things. Also, isn't there supposed to be a talisman here? Oh, whatever. Alright, so this room has a bunch of talismans. Most of them are fake. Let me demonstrate what happens when you try to pick up a fake one. I don't know why, I just find it so funny. Let me load the quick save. So yeah, all of these are fake. There's only one that's real. Now, that note that we have, if I can find it, this one, 8 old men. That basically means 8 talismans. Only one with power, only one is the real one. Turn away from the hand with the sword, count 7 and find your reward. Hand with the sword, I have no idea what they mean by that. Honestly, absolutely no clue. So, what I... like the way I found out which one it is, other than trial and error by just saves coming, that mage that I knocked out, this guy, always goes to this talisman right here, which is the furthest away in the room. And also the sounds that you hear, it's not a thing where, oh, the sound will lead you to the real thing. No, that is not the case. It's actually this one. There we go. So our objective is complete. All we have to do is leave now. So let's go to the basement. There are a few more loot pieces that we can get there, and then we'll leave. Also, I just remembered, there are like... no, wait, there is like a staircase that I forgot to pick up a purse in. Should I get it? I mean, I promised I would show off as much as I can, so yeah, let me go and grab it real quick. It should be on the first floor. Not the ground floor, the first floor, which is, I believe, this one. No, this is the ground floor. Crap. Okay, maybe I'm just wasting time right now, but... the completionist in me is screaming, you gotta pick it up, because you forgot about it, you dum-dum. Okay, I think it's this way. No, it's the other one, because this is the one we picked up already, right? See, this is confusing, because both of these look pretty much the same. Okay, that is the one we picked up. So there is an identical, like, staircase on the other side, which also has a purse on a table on the ground level. So I'm gonna go grab it real quick, and then we can leave. The completionist is screaming. Here it is. Okay, now we're ready to leave. I'm probably missing something else, knowing me, but whatever. At least I remembered about that one, so... And I didn't just leave it. Again, this strafe jumping is really useful. Because, well, Thief 2 has really big levels as well, but at least they don't have, like, long and boring sections of just walking in a straight line. Because Thief 2 does not have this bug with the pseudo bee-hopping or whatever you want to call it. Now down here in the basement there's 2 guards patrolling this area. So be on the lookout for them. And there's also these 2 rooms that you can unlock, which have the loot. Here we go. And also a note. I can finally get back to work. My apologies for being behind schedule on the new round of vivisection. The workmen have finally cleared out, having just finished walling up the last entrance to those infernal sewers. The old sewers are still largely unmapped, but present too much of a security risk to be left. I find it amazing that they reach back to the city despite our distance from it. That is our hint that that's basically where we need to go to leave. There is still the one secret entrance that we can use to traverse the sewers. The guards that patrol will deal with anything unfortunate enough to struggle out of that muck. Adept Heseki Bazar. Yep, that is where we need to go. And the guards will not be a problem for us, because we're the Master Thief Garrett. Now, believe it or not, this is not all the loot. There is some more loot in a secret room. Right over here. It's kind of obvious that there's a fake wall right here. And this secret room contains silver nuggets, some coins. I think that's it. Okay, I think that's all the loot. Also, there's a ladder you can climb here and a fake panel that opens up into... which tower is this? If I can climb, that would be nice. Thank you. The water tower, okay. So that's a neat little shortcut. I never take it, because, again, I always leave this area for last. But you can take it if you want to. Nothing's stopping you. Okay, finally these guys are here. There's an archer, and archers are usually faster. And a swordman. Both of them have the same key, which will lead us to the sewer. Yada yada yada. We're almost done with this mission, finally. For immersion's sake, even though I know I'm wasting time, but I'm just gonna hide their bodies in these like laboratory rooms or whatever the fuck. Whoa, okay, this is not vanilla. This was added here by the HD mod. Interesting. I wish I could actually stop one of them inside. That would be so funny. It's just a prank, bro. I'm just trolling. Iron Maiden. Best band ever. If you disagree, you're dead to me. You're not allowed to have personal preference. Not in my house. Torture chamber, very low. Oh, there's a readable? To read these words is to know pain. To know pain is to live in fear. To fear is to travel the false path. You must face your fear to see the truth. The truth is that there is no pain. To know this truth is to walk the enlightened path. The Book of Paths, 613. I have never even seen this book before. A dozen playthroughs later, like how many years is this? Like 6-7 years of playing this game? And this is my first time actually reading this book. That is insane, because normally, again, normally by the end of this mission, I just breeze past here, like I don't even bother to look here. So I guess that, because I always found it weird that they have like just torture chambers here. They didn't really make a lot of sense, but this kind of sort of puts into perspective why they have that here. That's very cool. I really should stream the games I play more often, because I'm a bit more attentive whenever I do this, it seems. Okay, this is the final chamber, finally. We have one guard patrolling this area. You can either knock him out or you can safely ignore him. Usually if you ignore him, you can just escape just fine. But I'm gonna knock him out for completionist's sake. Step into the Iron Maiden.
What I see?
Iron Maiden's gonna get ya. And here's the sewers.
This looks like the way out. That'll come in use.
I like how his dialogue gets cut off, because no, I guess the developers expect you to come to the basement first. Because he says that'll come in useful later, but it always gets cut off. But yeah, there we go. That was the Mage Towers. Trust me when I say this, this is the longest mission in the game. And I think we actually didn't spend as much time on it as we did some other missions. I'm not sure. I have to check the VOD after this, but... yeah, I'm glad we have this behind us, because it's mostly smooth sailing, at least for a bit from here on out. Almost 2 hours, yep. We discovered the location of the Earth Talisman. It was held in the central tower, which complicated things. Otherwise, we would have been done with this mission like in half the time. We stole it, of course. We stole the jeweled reading glasses from the central library. We stole the medallion of St. Brington from the captain's quarters. We stole 1800 loot. We did not kill anyone, and we escaped from the Mage Towers. Oh wow, we're actually quite far off from a completionist run. That's kind of unfortunate. Oh well. Don't forget to save, you moron. There we go. 1 hour 14 minutes of in-game time. Jeez. But yeah, that was the Mage Towers. Next stream will be at some point next week, probably Wednesday or Thursday, we'll see. And we'll get the second talisman out of 4, so stay tuned for that. And until then, thank you all very much for watching, and have a good one.